This is UbuntuMATE 16.04, and this is the welcome screen that you get after you install the distribution. The distribution is based off Ubuntu. It uses the Ubuntu installer, so it's very easy to install. And the welcome screen, which is now pretty much ubiquitous among distributions, is very nice. And you can walk down here on the left, and you get to access your introduction, features, and getting started. So if we click on getting started, it's going to walk you through the primary things you need to do to update and improve and understand your desktop. It has updates and extras, access to drivers, language and input, optional tasks, customization, keyboard shortcuts, and system specs. System specs is very nice. And it tells me even to what my motherboard is and my boot mode. So that's very nice. Has my processor. This happens to be an 8-core AMD. Running at 4 gigahertz, 64-bit architecture, and I support both 32-bit and 64-bit. I have 8 gigs of RAM, and I'm connected to the internet, and my graphics card is the AMD Radeon graphics card driver. And that's one of the reasons why I picked this distribution for this desktop, is because the AMD driver is only supported by Ubuntu, only works with Ubuntu distributions. And even if a distribution is Ubuntu based, it not necessarily always works. For example, I can't get it to work with Peppermint 7. At least I can't do it easily. I haven't spent a lot of time trying to make it work. But this is about making life easier with Linux, and if you have to start jumping into the terminal and issuing lots of command lines, then it's not very easy. And then it shows me my hard drive. So it's a very nice welcome screen, and it gets the job done. Once we're out of the welcome screen, we have our standard Mate desktop. Some people call it Mate. And up here we have our applications launcher, and it's menu driven. Okay, so it's very familiar, but it lacks a search feature. So I dislike that immensely, that there's no search feature for me to type the name of the application and hit return and launch it. Although I've overcome that strike against it by adding this launcher here. And here I can add a search. And the search is actually pretty darn powerful in that I can search the internet, Wikipedia, look it up in the dictionary, or search for the computer. And I have not installed Chrome, but if I type a program I have installed, like Firefox, I can get to it from there. So I like that. Then I have the places so I can access my folders or my hard drives, etc., etc. Recent documents, system, I can go into administration, go into preferences, the welcome screen, which we were already in, the control center, help, etc. And also log out and shut down from there. And then I have over here icons that I've added to the panel. Adding to the panel is very easy, just the standard right click, add to panel. I click on that, that's how I add plugins. If I want to add a program to the panel, I just find the program, right click on it, and add to the launcher, or add to the panel, excuse me. Okay, so very easy. And then over here I've added this launcher because I like it better than applications. I have a temperature gauge because I like to see what's going on with my computer, and over here on the right I have CPU gauges. And then your standard system tray, and the red dot lets me know that screen recorder is recording. Down here I have my active programs, an icon to take me back to the desktop, and over here are my workspaces and trash. So it's a very nice panel. It's adjustable. You can add widgets or plugins or applets, whatever you want to call them, right onto the panel just by that. That's very nice, very easy to do. So it's a very functional desktop. I like it a lot. Now, let's look at one of the things UbuntuMATE has really done well, and that's the software boutique. And one of the complaints against Ubuntu 16.04 is their software package manager doesn't always work. What they've done here is they've added something called boutique, and you can just click through, and it's very nice. It's a little graphical, and I can show details really easily of the packages and software I want to install. And what's nice about it is I can just click on the category and I can see the primary ones that UbuntuMATE recommends you can install. games. Okay, and Steam is very easily to install. Graphics. I just really like this a lot. And it works. I have not had a single problem installing a program from Software Boutique. Now, the selection is limited. Well, what do you do there then? Well, if the selection is limited, you can get all the way down here and install other package managers. You can install the App Grid. And that's a really nice touchscreen installer, but I've had some problems installing off of it. Software, Ubuntu Software Center, and Package Manager. So you have all your bases covered with installing applications from the Ubuntu repositories into UbuntuMATE. Just very nice. And very nicely done. I like that a lot. Okay, once we get past that, let's take a look at memory requirements, what I'm using. Probably should have done this originally off the bat. I'm running at less than 1 gigabyte of memory, and I have screen recorder going and a temple and a terminal open. So that's not bad at all. One of the interesting things about UbuntuMATE is you can see I have the Radeon graphics driver installed here, but if I were to go into my system and take a look at my hardware and then go and look at additional drivers, it does not show up. So that's very interesting to me that it doesn't show up here, but it shows up on the terminal. It also shows up when I look at my system. So I see I'm only running my AMD CPU proprietary software. Now if I get into other software, you can see that I have, this is the actual name of the driver I'm using, AMD GPU-Pro, and it is only available for Ubuntu 16.04 systems. So it's there, and it is in the repositories to be updated, but it doesn't show up in additional drivers. Anyhow, that's UbuntuMATE. It's a great Linux distribution. I highly recommend it if you're looking to install your first distribution. I think it ranks right up there with other programs like Mint or Peppermint 7. And it's very easy to install, wonderful user base, wonderful forums, lots of help available to you if you run into problems. 2 thumbs way up for UbuntuMATE. Thanks for watching.